In our offering time, we experience not plates passed around. If you have tangible physical offerings, there's a plate at the back of the sanctuary, and people share monetary gifts online. But we have this time in worship of thanksgiving, of experiencing the presence of God, and we're going to hear first from Wes Ward, who is invited by our stewardship ministry. Last year, our stewardship campaign was Angels Among Us, and we're having a monthly angel moment as people bear witness to God at work, and then our choir will bear witness to God's gifts in music.
Good morning. Yes, Mike Wilson asked me to say a few words about what Casas Adobes means to me. I think he really wanted to find out why my name, like a couple of other folks in this church, shows up on so many lists. And he asked me to do this in a few minutes. Okay. This could have been a talk about all the wonderful people you meet here on various activities, service projects, and outings that take place here. But as an introvert, oh yeah, I just cannot be moved to talk about sharing experiences with other people. I mean, even my socks say I'd rather be where people aren't. That's why introverts become scientists and engineers and accountants, artists, IT gurus, and God help us now, social media managers. So then, in order to make this work, first I must tell you a little bit of personal history, and then I can build my Casas Adobes story around that. A few of you may know that had I taken the vows, I would have been fifth-generation minister in my family. There was the Reverend Wesley Ward, my great-great-grandfather in Missouri and Kansas. Then his son, my great-grandfather, Reverend Armistead Milton Ward, who served churches in California and Colorado. His son, my grandfather, Reverend Alexander Wayman Ward, in Colorado Springs, Denver, and Chicago. And his son, Reverend Alexander Wesley Ward Sr., my father, born in Colorado Springs and raised in Chicago. And then there's me. Well, I guess the good Lord decided that 4 jackpots in a row was enough. Maybe he should just quit while he was ahead. We were African Methodist Episcopal, a denomination created in Philadelphia by the descendants of African slaves who were very poor, and most of whom could neither read nor write. Created because of the segregation practiced by the Methodist Episcopal Church in Philadelphia towards former slaves, their descendants, and colored people in general. I returned to my grandfather, A. Wayman, the Yale man, by the way. He left Denver rather hurriedly and took his family with him to Chicago in the mid-1920s because he had given sanctuary in the basement of his church to a teen parishioner accused of improper conduct towards a white girl. If this sounds like the Emmett Till story, it has the same elements, but with a different outcome. The Ku Klux Klan in Denver became aware of his sanctuary action and made additional threats. So Grampy first hid his family at their mountain cabin, then moved them all to Chicago after he got his paperwork and his money together. In the course of all this, the Klan burned his church, the shorter AME Church of Denver, Colorado, to the ground. That was April 9th, 1925, 100 years ago next month. So you see, religion and the practice of the principles of faith, in short, the work of the church, have been a long tradition in the Ward family. Where I had been here in the West, in college towns like Pullman and Moscow or Corvallis, there weren't AME churches, so I drifted away from church altogether. But a few years after grad school, my new girlfriend Linda introduced me to a church she found, the First Congregational Church, UCC, in Flagstaff, where later we were married and served as officers for a couple of cycles. It was a small church with a number of great projects that they were engaged in, publicly, such as the soup kitchen, and discreetly, such as being a station on the Underground Railroad for Central American War refugees in the 1980s. Then we came here. Casas Adobes was not only a warm and welcoming church, but it also had a great number of significant activities going on, plus outstanding leadership. Projects then, as now, are wide-ranging, and that's where I want to focus my remarks in this last minute. I've been on Habitat bills, served at Tijan, Primavera, the Food Bank, the Keeling Backpacks, and so many more efforts. The list goes on, like with thank you speech at the Oscars. My point is that Casas Adobes offers a wonderful, wide variety of opportunities to say that we stand for good and to accomplish that good as well. Our cherished pastors can give you by chapter and verse the history and the poetry and the beauty of the Bible. But the work of the Bible falls on us. So I ask you to perhaps look at our most important symbol here, the twisted cross. I ask you to remember that it is not a passive symbol. It's showing us, it's telling us, Casas Adobes members, come down, get up, go out. Come down, get up, go out. In this sanctuary, we say something about peace, justice, and helping the poor. And then we get up, and we go out, and we do it. That's something to be proud of, because that is what the man who carried this cross asked us to do. That is what he showed us how to do, and that is what we are supposed to do. And it's fun, too, even for us introverts. Amen? Amen. You got it.